Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I have the last of the page kits that I had put together for my retreat back in October that I didn't finish. This one was not the same sort of page kit. I had these photos I knew I wanted to do, and so I pulled Summertime from Echo Park. The reason I pulled it was really for this blue water paper. However, I've already used that paper and I had forgotten. But there's a couple of other blues in here that will work, and there's even another ocean thing. So this is what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to use this polka dot as my background paper. And I'm okay to use this because I probably wouldn't use that big orange plaid. I have these two options for helping matte. I also have this water option, which I do like. And what I'm thinking of doing is building a panel across. I made it so that it's, and I might tuck these in just a little bit more. Let's get this straight so that if I'm not straight, I can tell. I may overlap these a little bit like this to get a little more space on either side, but I thought stair step these photos, which I don't dislike at all. So let's see. Stair step these photos and then put something down here and then a block, a small block around this, and then I have a place to build, and I could put then a title across here, some little ephemera here, some ephemera here. I think that is my plan. So I have things I have all these papers. There are some cut aparts that I think will work if I can find them. So those summer days might work as a title. I kind of like that as my title. And then the other option was this, not as so much as a title. The best moment to enjoy summer is now, but I like that color. But what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to lean into this and do this as a title. I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller, the block, I think. But that is my plan. I have the ephemera, so I'll pull out ephemera, and I have enamel dots. So it's going to be simple. I am going to ink things, I believe. And I'm going to, I think, ink them. I also have this dark blue that I like. Prize Ribbon is definitely too bright. I think I might go with Faded Jeans. It's a little lighter, but I think that might work. The other option might be to think outside. So Tumbled Glass is the lighter blue in here. Stormy Sky might even be better. It's a little darker. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like the idea of Stormy Sky. I'm just trying to line it up. I think it's this medium blue or close to it. Yes, Stormy Sky. That's what I'm going to ink with. All right. Let's put this one here so I remember it. Let's clean off my ink dauber. And this is just because there's a white background and there's lots of, there might be white halo, white items here, so it'll help everything stand out. All right, I'm going to speed up from here on out, and I'll do a voice overlay. All righty, so taking off the branding strip, and I cut this at about 3.5 inches. It works out fine, and I decided to go ahead and cut along, leaving a little bit of the blue halo along one of the wavy strips. I think it's better than having it just cut through the lines. And I did remember to ink things. So I'm liking that, and I'm gonna tuck the photos in under the waves. I think that's pretty cute. And I decide to use this lighter peach. There was a light one, and then there was a dark, like one that was more of a darker orange. And I decided to go with this lighter color. Partly because the other one had dots on it, and this one has little tick marks. And so since it's on paper with polka dots or random dots, I decided I would do a slightly different. Now, a lot of this paper doesn't show, but enough of it to give it some separation from the background paper. And of course, I forgot to ink it before I put it down, so just inking it now. And it's time to take care of the title. So I cut this just a little bit. I still wanted some of the yellow, but I didn't want it quite that big. So I'm just trimming some of the yellow off. We'll start with these bigger components. And I'm just sort of tucking that in, where I'm not covering up the title, but it looked weird to have it floating too much higher above that card. So again, I'm covering up a lot of that, but I'm liking the layered look of it. And then I'm just going to the sticker sheet and pulling out some stickers that I think will work. And there's some little tiny circles, and I'm going to pull those since there's all the polka dots on the white paper. And I'm thinking that I'm going to pull some of those banners, but I'm not sure, 100% sure at this point. So I just go through the ephemera, and this is frames and tags. So I don't have floral ephemera. I don't have little icon ephemera. I really just have a few frames with wordy bits and tags and things like that. So I just pull out a selection of things that I think will work. And then since I didn't have any little flags in the ephemera, I go ahead and commit to using 3 of the little flags off the sticker sheet. I'm just putting them at different heights and overlapping them. And that's just to provide another sort of base for ephemera. A little embellishment cluster up there. And I end up switching this little piece out for something else. I'm just trying things out in different places. I didn't love the bathing suit on here. I didn't need the bathing suit to show. But I didn't want to cover some of the words, so I decided it would be best if I just covered the bathing suit, and that makes it a little more compact as well. And I decided I want something else there. So now that's a little more substantial cluster down there. So I'm getting a triangle between the top left, the title block, and then the bottom center. So I pulled out my tag maker. I decided I wanted a little more color up at the top. So I'm just going to make a couple of tags. And I'm just using, sorry it's off camera, I was kind of doing it in my lap a little bit. Just make a couple of tags. I wanted to bring in some dark blue at the top, since there's some dark blue in that little embellishment there and in the waves. And I think that those darker colors help anchor the top a little bit. And then I realized, well, I need a journal tag. So I cut another tag, and this is mostly white. It's got some little flowers or something in the background, but tiny, so easy to write on. But then I couldn't really place it in there where it was actually giving me journaling space, so I decided I'm going to put it at the bottom. And I just rearrange things a bit and decide that that will work. Then these can go back sort of the way they were. And I decide I'm going to fussy cut. It doesn't take me long. A couple of things. I really only found 2 items on here that I wanted to fussy cut. I didn't want to tear into another piece of paper. But I like those items, so I'm just going to go to the sticker sheet and find something else on the sticker sheet. And I found a little, so there's like a starfish, a strawberry, and then the sticker is a little watermelon slice. And I'm just trying to do things sort of in 3s. And you can see even with the fussy cutting, this didn't take very long. And I was really pleased with myself that it took me less than an hour to do this page beginning to end. And that was not having a sketch, not really having even really picked out all the papers I was going to use. But it makes it easier when you stick within a collection a little bit. I didn't go through my ephemera binders looking for additional stuff since I had it all with the collection. Now these are not from this collection, so the blue is a little different. These enamel dots, they're from a different Echo Park collection, but the reddish orange, or an orangey red, I guess it would be, worked, and the yellow. So I'm just doing 3 little clusters of those. And I need some twine. I have some bright yellow baker's twine, and that's what I'm going to use for the tags. And I do tend to glue the ends down, just put a little bit of glue to force the shape, a little, you know, a little curve on the tails of those strings. So here I just put a little bit toward the end of it. And this page is done, y'all. So we'll do some close-ups, but please give this video a thumbs up and come back. I'm going to have some more pictures from 2010 to do. And my daughter had a great football game at Texas Tech this weekend, so I want to get that scrapped, and a few other things that I have to take care of this week. So come on back to My Space to Craft, and we'll see you soon.